We have completed the winter project and it is ready. So we've just put in some new tires on there as well. Some Battle-Axe T33 and some K-Tech springs have gone in the front. And here we are. It's a beautiful day at the end of April. And yeah, so let's do a first ride after the upgrades. Let's see if it worked or not. First up, the spring at the front is so much stiffer now. That's good for this bike because she's a big girl. Helps with braking. Remember, I put new brakes on there, a new master cylinder, braided lines, and calipers, and it dives a lot less. Watch this. Check that out. Listen to that sound. Sounds amazing now, doesn't it? Holy crap. Check out my other videos of better sound quality, I guess. Oh, sounds good. And there's some bloody sheep in the road now. What the fuck is this? What is this nonsense? So the turning is firm. It's not light like a 600 or 1000 would be. It's still like firm. It's still firm, but it's so much better. Let's see if I'm a pussy in the corners or not. It just it turns so nicely now. It doesn't feel like a super sport or anything, but it doesn't feel as chunky as the bike actually is. Look at this. Around we go. Nice. No dramas at all in the corners now. And you know what? The front suspension upgrade, the new K-Tech springs, helps so much. Woo! We're so back. We're so back. Now, I haven't ridden it quite a while, like literally 5 months maybe, so I'm a bit rusty, maybe even a bit more than that. Yeah, like 6 months I didn't ride, so forgive me, boys. But hey, the upgrades go well so far, huh? Nothing blew up. It's very hot today. The temperature is below the middle line, so that new coolant is putting in some work by the looks of it. So I can tell that the bike is breathing a lot easier with the clean air box. Yeah, I cleaned the air filters. They're actually aftermarket, like Piper Cross air filters. That's all nice and fresh. And also the exhaust system. It's a full exhaust system now. It's got no baffle in, and it's just breathing. It's just breathing real nice, just like this view and me breathing fresh air right now. So the bike is breathing fresh air, boys. And I do notice a little bit of a power discrepancy. It's not, I would not say it's faster. It's definitely lighter with the stuff I've done, but I wouldn't say it's faster accelerated. So also down low, like very low, 2000 revs or so, I can feel, I feel like the bike is running a little bit lean, like it's got more power to give, but the fuel in isn't exactly correct. Also, when we're at 0% throttle like this, yeah, and we go to 1% throttle, it's a bit twitchy. So all of these things, I'm going to fix them eventually. So the only way to fix them is to tune the bike. And because this is an old bike, you can't just get the ECU tuned. It's like a 16-bit ECU. No one bloody tunes those anymore. Everything these days is 32-bit, right? So what I'm going to have to do is get a power commander and take it to like a bike place, get it dyno tuned, and get a custom map installed on the bike. Definitely subscribe so you don't miss that video, by the way. That would be awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much one of the big upgrades I've done. And on top of that, remember I took off the EVAP system. This bike had an EVAP system because it's from the Netherlands. Also, I installed block-off plates to remove the pair valve bullshit on the top of the engine. So, if you noticed, I haven't tuned the bike. When I throttle off, there's no pop and crack. There's no pops or cracks or anything. That's because I removed the pair valve system, so it no longer pumps fresh air into the exhaust ports. Listen to the sound on that, Jesus Christ. We do get a few spits in second gear. I think it's maybe a tiny little bit rich in second gear. You know, it's these little things that need to be tuned out. Anyway. With the new suspension springs on the front, everything adjusted to my weight perfectly. The bike doesn't dip under braking as much as it used to. Also, I've gone over a few bumps and it's like recovered itself a lot quicker than what the old springs were doing. So the old springs on this bike are notoriously too soft for the weight of this bike. So yeah, that's a nice big upgrade we've done. Holy shit, I'm old. Man, being out on the bike again is so good, especially in such weather like this. Listen to that. Oh my god. Got some real bloody power now. Real sound as well. It's a full system. Yeah, so what else? The brakes, right? I mentioned the brakes at the start, but the brakes are so freaking good now. What did I do? I overhauled everything actually. So the calipers, the stock calipers are the 6-pot, the Tokiko 6-pot calipers. They're big and chunky. So these ones are actually 4-pot from a Bandit 1200, like Gen 1. They're Nissin 4-pot calipers, and they're, I wouldn't say they're better, but they are lighter, and they give you more feeling through the brake lever, you know what I mean? Like you can feel what you're doing a bit easier with the brakes. Talking about the brake lever, let's just go up from the bottom. So yeah, new calipers, they look really nice as well, and new braided brake lines. I can't remember the company. ASV or AS3, one of those. Anyway, new braided brake lines with like customizable banjo angles, which was kind of necessary on this because I also installed a ZX-10R, Gen 1 ZX-10R master cylinder on the right up here. This is a Gen 1 ZX-10R master cylinder. It just bolts right on. The only thing you have to worry about is the banjo bolts. Cool. Yeah, and I can feel the brake it comes on sooner, there's less sponginess, you know what I mean? But I too, we're like 10% throttle. And it turns. I wouldn't say it's light on its feet, even though I've upgraded the stuff. It is, it's not a light turning bike after all. I think if you want really light steering, you'll have to put proper sport tires on there, like really, really sticky sport tires, like S22 tires maybe. Yeah, like Battle X S22s. I've had S22s on a bunch of my bikes, and they turn like a housefly, you know. And I'll tell you what else I need to do. I don't want to do a U-turn properly here. Look at the ground. There's just so much gravel everywhere. But I admittedly have lost my ability to do low-speed maneuvers. I blame it on my bikes, because a Hayabusa and a ZX-12R, not really the bikes you're going to do low-speed maneuvers on, let's be honest. Big, heavy lumps of sport bikes with clip-ons, yeah. It's a bit tough. So I'm blaming my bikes and my lack of riding. Anyway, I cut apart the seat, yeah. Well, both seats, but let's focus on the driver's seat, the rider's seat. I cut apart the seat and I put some ballistic gel in there instead of the old foam. The gel does hold your ass a bit better and it's nice and soft. But I think maybe I put the gel a little bit too far forward. Also, whilst I was doing the job, it made such a big fucking mess. Oh my god. And my neck was aching. Bent over the seat. And it took ages. Honestly, I wouldn't do it again. Like, it is definitely a bit of an upgrade over the old seat foam, but I would not do it again. I would just pay a professional upholsterer to do it, and then that way you can get like a custom vinyl seat cover as well, yeah, with like some nice patterns and stuff, maybe Storm Tech written on it, that kind of thing. Please overtake this guy, thank you. Ugh. What else did I do? Oh, I also painted some pieces on the bike. It says it was automotive paint, right? I painted like the levers here, see? They're nice black, Diablo black. And I painted the footrests, foot pegs, brake, pedals, that kind of stuff. And the paint is coming off like easily. You know what I mean? Like my boots have already, like immediately, within like 5 miles, rubbed a bunch of the paint off the footrests. I even put 2K clear, like expensive shit on the bike, right? 2K clear coat, automotive paint. Like I primed it, I sanded it so all the paint sticks properly, and the paint still kind of like chips off. I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe it was the temperature that it was applied in. I don't know, boys. I don't know. Maybe that was it. But yeah, lesson learned. I wouldn't really paint anything metal again. What I would actually do is just take it to what do you call them? A powder coating place. You know, they powder coat wheels and stuff. Yeah, I would take my levers and stuff like that, pedals, etc., to a powder coating place. They would just powder coat it and it would last forever, basically. What else did I do? Nothing much, really, other than clean out the petrol tank and stuff. So that's turned out okay, I think. Petrol tank's nice and clean. I'm getting good fuel delivery, so I didn't fuck anything up. I didn't break anything. That's the main thing, isn't it? Yeah, the bike's running nice, and like I said, the only thing missing now is power commander, especially this this jerkiness at 1% throttle. needs to go, needs to be fixed. Other than that, it's pretty good. Pretty good, boys, pretty good. So I'm also going to release an abridged winter maintenance video. Yeah, where I just condense the entire thing that I did down into like a 10-minute, 15-minute video. So that might be a bit more interesting than watching all the long form stuff. But if there's anything in particular that you need to like see, because if you're going to do it yourself, for example, then check out my channel. Check out the ZX-12R playlist, project videos, project playlist. It'll be there somewhere, you can find it. But yeah, if you want to see more riding videos and all that kind of stuff, definitely subscribe to the channel. And pay attention, ring that bell. Alright, yeah, I'll see you guys next time.